Britain doubles its drone squadron and readies to fire from UK soil, a judge hears allegations British intelligence was provided for US strikes that killed innocent people. Now, a court has heard claims that British intelligence officials may have provided information to the United States to be used in drone strikes in Pakistan. The son of a Pakistani man killed in a drone attack has gone to the High Court in London to challenge the alleged UK policy of passing on information to the CIA for use in these strikes. This is a drone, unmanned but heavily armed. Its use hugely controversial. The United States has been carrying out drone attacks on the northwest region of Pakistan since 2004. According to human rights groups and independent research, these attacks have killed hundreds of innocent civilians. The US military disputes these numbers, arguing that drones can operate with pinpoint precision and that they are vital for fighting terrorism in this border region with Afghanistan. Until now, the debate over drone use has focused almost completely on the United States, but now the extent of British involvement is being questioned for the first time. This is Noor Khan, a Pakistani whose father was killed in a drone strike in the North Waziristan region. Noor Khan is disputing the legality of these drone attacks, and today he began a legal challenge here in the United Kingdom. He wants the Foreign Secretary, William Hague, to clarify whether British intelligence is used in the CIA-operated drone strikes.
There's little doubt that for some years the United Kingdom has been supplying intelligence to the CIA, which has then gone on to be used in fatal drone strikes, covert drone strikes across the border in Pakistan where the UK is not in conflict. So the question being addressed in the High Court is the legality of that process, whether British intelligence, by supplying information to the United States, might be colluding in something which under UK law is actually illegal.
Britain's use of drones compared with the United States is very limited, but on Friday a new squadron of RAF drones will be officially created. It will double the number of British drones in Afghanistan to 10, and they will be the first to be piloted actually from within the United Kingdom. Well, lawyers for William Hague said today that they will neither confirm nor deny any intelligence sharing activities in support of drone operations. With me now are Kat Craig from Reprieve, the human rights organisation involved in that High Court action, and Robin Simcox from the think tank, the Henry Jackson Society. Kat Craig, do you sense that William Hague's going to get his way?
Well, we certainly hope not. As you said, the problem that we have is that the government is... And what we're seeking to do is to generate a debate about the use of drones, particularly in circumstances where our potential involvement in the CIA's illegal drone war is such that has very severe repercussions.
Let's just pick up on the word illegal, because I'm sure that you'll want to address the question of legality. Is it illegal, drone attacking?
Absolutely.
How so? Under the Geneva Convention or what?
We are not at war with Pakistan, nor is the US. The US argue that the basis for their legality is one in which the Pakistani government have consented to the use of drone strikes. Now, first and foremostly, that is not true. Pakistan has not consented. But moreover, surely it is a preposterous and barbarian comment to say that innocent civilians in a non-war zone can be assassinated by a foreign government just because their government allows it.
Well, Robin Simcox, that's quite a heavy charge.
Indeed. I think actually the US justification is more along the lines of the authorization of the use of military force, which was passed jointly in Congress after the 9/11 attacks, and gives the US government, via the US military, permission to wage war on Al-Qaeda and its affiliates in a range of theatres across a range of countries. That's why the US used these drone strikes. There is a level of actually complicity between government to government. The Yemeni government sign off on drone strikes. The Pakistani government, I think, are at the very least not exactly trenchant in turning them down. And these are acknowledged, of course, extremely complex legal, moral, ethical issues that straddle military versus legal problems and issues. Nobody's saying.
Well, if we go back to the origins of war, I mean, they did involve people actually going to war and fighting each other. This surely is the act of the coward, sitting in Virginia, sending unmanned drones off to kill people, many of them innocent civilians.
Well, I don't think many of them, I mean, the figures conflict wildly, but I think to say many of them were innocent civilians.
Well, the answer is nobody actually knows, but we believe the number to be hundreds.
In terms of the ratio, I think there's the figures, the American officials would say very differently. There was an alternative,
well, they would,
just to give a context. There was an alternative that the Americans used, and for a long time, foreign national security threats were put in somewhere called Guantanamo Bay. But the fact of the matter is that organisations like Reprieve were also very, very disapproving of that as well, and so new alternatives have been come up with, some of which now I think people would dislike more.
Well, let's just bring in Kat Craig here, because the issue that indeed Robin Simcox brought up was that the legality of all this really centres on 9/11 and the UN's sort of resolution permitting some degree of reprisal against those people who perpetrated it. The difficulty here surely is that actually they have managed to kill quite a lot of key characters of Al-Qaeda, even if they've also killed civilians like the father of your particular subject today.
Well, in fact, John, they've managed to kill a number of Al-Qaeda people twice. By the US accounts, there are a number of senior Al-Qaeda operatives who appear on multiple occasions on their kill lists. Look, the point is that the figures are unclear. A brief point is that the issues that Robin raised in the context of the legality relate to military action. This is CIA action. It is actually quite different. It is a non-war zone. We don't know what the facts and figures are. We don't know what the UK government policy is. We are simply seeking a reasonable debate that will allow us to expose what the actual situation is and to protect innocent civilians where that needs to happen.
Well, that is quite a strong point, isn't it? Military to military. This is not military to military. This is spies to people on the ground.
Well, the CIA come up with the list, we think, but there isn't a lot of transparency around that, and it's thought that President Obama does sign off on each and every one of the targets. There's ambiguity perhaps about the numbers killed, but what there isn't ambiguity over is some of those that have been killed. For example, Anwar al-Awlaki in Yemen. This was someone who was Al-Qaeda's best way of persuading young British Muslims in this country to fight and die abroad, to become suicide bombers, to target Western lives, Western structures, Western targets. I don't think we should be flippant about the fact that somebody like that, somebody like Atir Abdul Rahman in Pakistan, Abu Yahya al-Libi in Pakistan, have been stopped because these were extremely dangerous men.
Well, no doubt this will certainly be stirred by whatever the judge decides, and it's day 2 tomorrow. Thank you both.